Welcome back to the Perspective, Minister. We understand here in Indonesia, Erasmus Swiss has been very, very active in trying to promote cultural and heritage exchanges between the two countries.
Yes, I think the Erasmus Center is very important from this perspective. And the center is, you can see, it's a library.
It's beautiful.
It's a performance place for performances. It has an exhibition hall. And we want to develop it even further. So to say, to modernize it more. For example, a library for a long time was just a place where you was getting a book. But nowadays a library is also a place where you meet other people.
Correct.
Where you have cultural activities. So it should not be very separated anymore. If you look to cultural developments, all the traditional distinctions between different parts of artwork are disappearing. So therefore also this center will be rebuilt in a way to make it more open, to make it more accessible, and also to stimulate a new kind of arts. So I also had an appointment with my colleague, a memorandum of understanding we signed about further cooperation, and that is also about artists that work with digitalization, for example, and that means that you can also reach a much broader
audience.
Public. So that are ways from the old. Again, we have the old part of collaboration, for example, in renovation of monuments.
Old building structures as well.
So then it's more the preservation. But I want to focus also more on collaboration on new issues. And we have in common, for example, that people from the arts are very much societally related, so they want to bring their art to a broad audience, or they want to relate it to important societal issues. So we can develop that any further. And we have some special interest, I think, like dance. You are quite strong in that, and we can learn a lot from that. And we also have quite good dance performance groups. So, there's a lot of things that can be intensified and can be developed.
But in your perspective, what is that common trait or common ground that Indonesians and the Netherlands have in terms of, not just in terms of culture, but in general?
Oh.
I'm sure you've had your dealings with a lot of Indonesian, not just your counterparts, but Indonesian in the Netherlands as well. How do you view that common ground, and where do we share that?
I think people have a way of understanding each other.
Yeah.
So they have a naturally kind of common ground. Of course, Indonesians can form the Dutch perspective be a little bit shy, and the Dutch sometimes can be quite rude. But people
direct.
Jokes.
Yeah.
But people can make jokes about that. So it's not so. There's no confrontation. There's a lot of respect for each other, and from there on, also a way of openness. And interest in each other, a real interest in each other.
Now, there's coming back to Erasmus Center, that we know there's a lot of events and going on. Every time we pass by Erasmus, there's always something that's changing. There's always something that's happening. There's always people around it. Is this the same? Can the same be said in the way that Indonesia is promoting its all cultural exchange in the Netherlands? It hasn't gotten to
such a kind of institute, but I think Indonesians are quite active, and I know in the next fall there will be a lot of Indonesian performances in the Netherlands. We have the annual Tong Tong Fair in the Netherlands, And that's, you know, again, something people go back to the past, but also new literature is being presented there. So it's and it's quite popular in the Netherlands. So I think the Indonesians are quite active.
Great. We'll come back and with Minister Bussemaker to talk about Sains right here on Perspective.